Hello everyone, how are you? So today we'll try to understand client certificate authentication and how we can connect to a third-party server or API using client certificate authentication in Fusion. Okay, um, so what is a client certificate? Okay, just think of it like an ID card. Okay, you are simply showing your ID card to the third-party system. Okay, now that ID card or this certificate should already be installed or let's say registered on the third party system. Okay. In simple terms, that is what client certificate authentication is all about. Okay. Okay. I hope you understood that. Now, here is how it works. Okay. When Fusion connects to a third party server or an API, let's say, right, the first thing that happens is the server presents its certificate to Fusion. Okay, it is kind of showing its ID card. Okay, Fusion checks that certificate to ensure everything is valid. Okay, once that is verified, Fusion presents its own certificate. Okay, the Fusion's client certificate. Okay, the server then checks whether the client certificate is recognized or has already been installed in a system or not. Okay, if it is, then Fusion is authenticated. Okay, and then the server will provide access. As simple as that. Okay. Um, for example, access token or a successful API response. Okay. Okay. Now, you might ask, how do we get this Fusion client certificate, right? How can I get this? So let's go to that particular link. So you need to go to this particular link. So let's say I'll share this link in the description of the video. And if you go here, you have different data centers, US data center, EU data center, Azure cluster. So if your customer is based out of US data center, you need to download the certificate from this particular link. If the customer is based out of EU data center, you need to download it from this particular link. Okay. And if it is ANZ customer, then you need to download from this particular link. Okay. So let's assume that the customer is basically from the US data center, and let's try to download from this link. Okay, it is downloaded here. So um, so basically, once it is downloaded, what you need to do is you need to share this particular certificate, this Fusion's client certificate, with a third-party systems contact person. Okay, that is someone on their side responsible for managing integrations. Okay, so they will typically install this certificate on their servers. Okay, once this is done, Fusion can successfully call the third-party API. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now, how do we call the API? You might have this question, right? So you can go to Fusion. So let's go to Fusion, and you need to drop a module, HTTP module, make a request module. Okay, and the most important thing is there is an option called under advanced settings. There's an option called Mutual TLS. Please make sure that you select this option. Okay, that's very important. And obviously, you need to fill all the other details of the API as per the API specification, the URL. It might be a post method. You need to add the headers. I haven't added the headers, but you need to add the headers. Body type, uh, you know, key equal to grant type, value is equal to client cert. Basically, configure all these details. And the most important configuration setting is use mutual TLS. Okay, don't forget to take this option. That should be it. You should be able to call the API using client certificate authentication. I hope this was useful. Have a nice day.